Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode on my podcast and stream on the future of business and technology. And today's topic is how HPE is enabling customers to use generative AI, a super important topic. And today I'm joined by Mark Armstrong, who is the VP and General Manager for EMEA for high performance computing and AI at HPE. So welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Bernard.
Where are you joining us from today, Mark?
I'm near London at the moment, Bernard. So in our offices in Reading.
Very good. So maybe we can start by you giving us a bit of background to yourself, how you
Sure.
ended up becoming a VP at HPE, and a little background that you and basically the background you have in the industry.
Sure, will do. So, I mean, I've been in the computing industry now for 27 years, and been through a whole number of different roles, mainly in the UK. Up until a few years ago, as coming up from being a sales exec to a manager of various different districts, to running the sales function in the UK, also running our channel in the UK, and then most recently in the role I'm in now, which is responsible for our HPC and AI business across Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So a huge geography, and a whole range of different products, services, and software to help our customers develop their high performance compute and AI solutions that they need. So yeah, I've been in the industry a long time. I would say the pace of change only accelerates, and certainly in the last 3 years, the industry has moved forward tremendously, and particularly the AI space in the last 12 months has surged forward. So we're seeing rapid developments in the capability of our systems, what our customers can do with them. And really, it's my role with the team to assist our customers in designing and developing AI and HPC systems to help drive their businesses forward. So
Very
yeah.
good. Very good. So, what are HPE's core competencies and how long has AI been a priority? Because I guess people associate HPE with computing and
Yeah,
compute, but not necessarily AI. So, that would
yeah,
be interesting to know a bit
yeah.
about.
Well, I mean, I would take that question in terms of AI has been with us for decades, as we probably all know. And, the thing about AI is typically it requires incredibly high performance from a compute perspective. And HPE has been world leader in high performance compute for decades, and we continue to be so across the globe. So our history is a long one in both high performance compute and AI, and the two are very, very tightly linked. If you look at the workloads that are required for generative AI, those requirements are very similar to high performance compute, and that's why we've had such success in the last couple of years servicing this new and upcoming generative AI and AI market. So I would summarize what do we have as our portfolio. We have the world's most performant and powerful computing systems with Cray and our Apollo systems. We have high performance storage that supports that compute. We have a range of services, both in terms of helping our customers to optimize the technology for the workloads that they need and the solutions that they need for AI and HPC, and also to ensure that these very, very complex, very, very high scale systems are deployed effectively, do what we say they're going to do, and ultimately provide the highest performance. And then we provide a software tool set that enables our customers to really efficiently use that capital investment and get the most from it in terms of optimizing the efficiency of machine learning, reducing the amount of time it takes to get outcomes through machine learning. That's a very interesting part of our business, and we've been pretty acquisitive there over the last few years, recently acquiring an organization known as Determined AI and Pachyderm, very specifically to help the machine learning process and make that more efficient. And then we couple that capability with the ability for our customers to procure these systems and use these systems in many different ways, from a capital expenditure model, but also from various as a service models. So customers can create their own private AI cloud. They can purchase large language modeling as a service from HPE within our GreenLake platform. And equally, we have very extensive relationships with the service provider market, both in Europe and globally. So really, we're about ensuring that customers can consume this generative AI in a way that suits their business.
Very good. And you mentioned high scale. I think this is what everyone wants and is talking about. How do I really scale up artificial intelligence in my organization? So what is HPE's approach and strategy for scaling AI?
Well, I mean, I guess the first aspect of it is ensuring that we work really, really closely with our customers to determine what the right architecture is to do and compute the workloads that they need. And that's really fundamental. And honestly, I think we have the strongest team globally in terms of the ability to understand how the technology works and orientate that and optimize that to the applications and the workloads that our customers need to use to ensure that they maximize the value of the compute service that they need. So I would say that that is a really key thing. And then the experience that we have in putting together the world's most powerful supercomputers, it's not far away from that when you look at the performance requirements for large generative AI models. So, as a great example, Frontier is the world's most powerful supercomputer based in the US. Lumi is the most powerful supercomputer in Europe, capable of computing, I think, 375 petaflops in performance. And taking the experience that we gain from deploying these massive systems helps us to ensure that we architect the right solutions for customers that want to solve for generative AI. A great example of that is Aleph Alpha, a European startup, where we've put together with Aleph Alpha, we've designed what is the world's 72nd largest supercomputer to do LLM modeling. We've taken our experience in designing supercomputers and laid that over what Aleph Alpha need to do their generative LLM modeling. So lots of experience. And then from a scale perspective, really, the scale is pretty limitless with the capabilities and the intellectual property that we have.
Very good. We had a conversation before this one, and I was impressed to learn about how HPE is continuously investing in AI solutions and products. So maybe you can outline what the key elements of the HPE AI strategy is.
Sure. So I mean, the core of our strategy is that we have a huge amount of intellectual property within the technologies that I've sort of earlier described, and we continue to significantly invest in building that intellectual property up organically within the company. And Slingshot is a really highly performant network solution that we have within our our supercomputers. That's a really good example of that organic solution development. Then equally, where it's appropriate, from an acquisitions perspective, we've been pretty active. So in the most recent past, we've acquired Silicon Graphics, we've acquired Cray, we've acquired the two software companies that I talked to earlier. So we're really looking at high performance compute is a core part of HPE's future strategy, and we're making the acquisitions that we need to ensure that we have the best solutions for our customers, and we're making the internal investments to do the same thing. So it's a huge intent that we have, and I think we've demonstrated that intent with what we're doing.
Very good. So let's talk a bit more about AI and how it is actually impacting businesses. I'd love to
Sure.
know how you feel AI is impacting businesses today and how this might shift in the future, and in particular, how your customers are using generative AI.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we have so many different examples of the application of AI. From simulation to generative modeling to digital twins, traffic management, weather forecasting. The application of AI is almost limitless. In the generative AI space, it's about us designing for the whole breadth of customers that are investing in generative AI solutions to develop their businesses. As I say, a really good example is our relationship with Aleph Alpha. Aleph Alpha have an aspiration to lead the creation of next gen AI in Europe. And they're demonstrating that, as I've said, with an incredible strategy to make LLM models available on and through all of the major European languages. And HPE, underpin that vision with the computer architecture and solutioning that Aleph Alpha needs. So a really good example there of a partner that is creating LLM models, and HPE is underpinning that. Equally, we have a huge number of different customers that are using AI in many different ways. Red Bull, from a perspective of designing and simulation for the design of their F1 cars, is a great example. We have a long relationship with KAUST, which is the King Abdullah University of Science and Technology in Saudi Arabia, and they're using HPE supercomputers to model weather simulation to work out how they can create increased rainfall in the Saudi Gulf to support the availability of water to their population. Autonomous drive, I think, is another fantastic example of where HPE has an incredible relationship with Zenuity that provide the AI training for Volvo cars. So, the current application of AI, I think we have an incredible breadth of use cases that we are delivering to. And I think the future will only the pace of change and growth will only increase. When we see how in the last 6 months, generative AI is creating the ability to design a whole range of different applications. It's almost limitless, and we have an aspiration to be at the heart of that.
Very good. Yeah, I completely agree. So whenever organizations are trying to implement AI, there are clearly challenges there. You said that you're working with so many different companies applying AI in lots of different ways.
Mhm.
So what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that businesses are facing when they're trying to adopt AI?
I think that's a a big question, and there's a lot of dependencies there on where that organization is on their journey. My sense is that if I relate that to generative AI and LLM, I think that a lot of businesses are still at the very, very early stages of this, the exploratory stages of this. And I think there is a balance between understanding how AI at a high level can improve the performance of a business in ways of either the offer set or efficiencies, or other mechanisms, and where to start, frankly. So establishing one or two projects that are going to make the most difference in this space, I think organizations are still struggling with, and they're still trying to identify, what to take forward when that will make the most impact in a short time frame. I see that with a lot of organizations, but then equally, organizations that are further down the journey, it's how do they create the capacity to train their models efficiently and quickly on an ongoing basis? How do they invest, and what's the most effective way to invest to solve for that challenge? So I think that the challenges are varied, but one thing is for certain: I think that every major corporation and every major research establishment in certainly in my region has AI at the core of its future strategy, certainly from an intent perspective. The challenge, I think, is what's the most effective way to move through the different stages to execution.
Yeah, and you mentioned that AI is being used by organizations in so many different ways. It has been on the agenda for a decade and more. Why do you think generative AI is front page news right now and pretty much everywhere, and is on the top of the hype cycle?
Well, my view on that is that AI has been available for many years, but it's been sort of invisible. Things like genomics, things like simulation, design, digital twin. These are all examples of AI that the consumer market has enjoyed the outcome of, but never really seen how it's got done. So it's been broadly irrelevant to the consumer. Whereas I think in the last 12 months, generative AI has exploded on the basis that it has been made very open in terms of what it can do at a consumer level. And I think that's driven a huge level of interest that has just created the market that we see now. I think fundamentally, when I look back at my career, the things that have really made huge impacts to society are things that classically the consumer can get their head around and can experience and can enjoy. And I think that OpenAI is a great example of how that worked from a Gen AI perspective to really blow open what this thing can do, and created a bow wave that has then I think increased its interest across the whole range of public sector and commercial organizations.
So what do you think are some of the new opportunities that generative AI is providing and uncovering?
Well, again, I think that's almost limitless. I think that organizations have huge data lakes, as we know, and I think organizations understanding how they can extract more from that data and use that in a way to improve the services that they deliver to their customers, I think is at the heart of it. To me, I think that's the key to how this is going to move forward. And in terms of in terms of where, in terms of industry segments, I think that's across the piece. So I would suggest that we'll see major innovations coming out of pretty well all industries in the coming few years with respect to what Gen AI can deliver, driven, as I've said, by the ability we have now, where we didn't before, to use that data in ways that are innovative and new.
And what future trends do you expect to see as generative AI becomes more efficient and more capable?
I think it will distill through. So we'll see, we'll see more and more models, and we'll see more and more tuning through to get much more specific outcomes, company-specific outcomes, industry-specific outcomes. And I think that will be the kind of the next steps. So organizations using their secure data to create services that are very appropriate to their customer base. And I think that will be a significant future step, and we'll see that emerging. We're already starting to see it emerge, but I think we'll start to see that emerging more and more as we go over the next 24 months.
What about the future are you most excited about, and what about the future are you most concerned about? This is a question I tend to ask all my guests,
Well,
and you can
I,
take this as widely as you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about a whole bunch of things. I mean, last week we did a number of workshops, roadshows in different countries around Europe, and we had incredible attendance, and it was specifically about how we can help organizations to extract more value from their data using AI and LLM modeling. What was exciting about that was experiencing the breadth of customers that were investing in this area of compute, and the variance of customers, from startups that were generating their own and developing their own LLM models, to startups that were investing in how they could extract more from models that were already there, to huge corporations working out, as I've said, how they can utilize generative AI. So, the exciting thing for me is the train has left the station, as we say, and there are going to be a huge number of really exciting services, trends, that we'll experience as consumers, I think, in the coming years, off the back of this technology, and off the back of their capacity to utilize data in ways that we never imagined would be feasible. So yeah, I mean, there's so many things, I think, so many parts of our lives that this technology will touch. I find that incredibly exciting. In terms of risks, I mean, I suppose we've all heard of them, which is what happens if the capability gets into the wrong hands? How do we manage that? How do we legislate for that? I don't think that's new with technology. I think technology has always had that potential risk and challenge. I think we've always managed to work out frameworks to ensure we get the most from technology, and that's the sort of side that I would err on. So yeah, but there's definitely risks out there.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mark, for your time today. That was fascinating, and it's great to hear how important AI is for HPE. So thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you, Bernard. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Great. And anyone who ever wants to re-watch or re-listen to this, simply head to my YouTube channel or my podcast. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark.